Hey guys, Comrade Danky here, and I've got some interesting comments on my video in which I covered the recent police shooting of a young black man in Memphis named Brandon Weber and another police shooting involving another young black man named Martavius Banks. And some of the comments were good, so others were a bit concerning. So I wanted to sort of look them over, taking care not to, of course, show anybody's username or anything like that. Uh, so this comment says, there are witnesses that say this young man was in cuffs when shot. This is talking about Brandon Weber. A family member recorded the whole thing. Time will tell if that is released. So, by that, I assume the police took the footage and are now probably putting it in a filing cabinet somewhere, uh, somewhere dark and deep where no journalist or civilian would ever find it. I hope that the footage is released. I think Memphis deserves to see the footage. I think if the police had nothing to hide, then they should be perfectly willing to show the footage. If nothing else, just to ease our minds. Maybe put the community at ease knowing that this kid really did ram his car into the cops and was really acting like a psycho, like the cops claim. But, like I said in my video where I covered this, until they show it, I'm not going to believe it because there's just way too many cases of cops shooting a black kid and then claiming after the fact, oh, he had a gun, or I thought he had a gun, or he was coming at me, or, just anything. So she said police are known to escalate the situation even further. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Hell, just recently a video came out where a cop yelled he's got a gun on an unarmed young man with his hand hanging out the car. Okay, so you see his hand hanging out of the car. Did he have a gun in the hand? This is the mind of a pig, ladies and gentlemen. This is how they think. They see an empty hand. They're like, "Oh, it has a gun in it. It's a gun. It's an invisible gun." All the other cops nearby was ready to shot the kid. Yeah, I think most of these just chode pigs. They just live for the day where one day they just get to shoot some black kid. They're just like, oh yeah, it's almost like a badge of honor that they wear. They're like, oh yeah, I got to actually kill somebody with my cool gun. I'm a cool guy with a cool badge, and I get to drive a cool car. They don't realize they're just fucking pigs. I don't care if he was wrong. No one deserves to be shot that many times by someone who's trained to use a firearm. And that's what I was saying. And keep in mind, they shot him in his family's front yard. You expect me to believe that every single one of those, like 20 fucking shots fired, uh, was just expected to hit him and not go into a residence or bounce. They had no consideration for what was potentially behind the kid when they shot him, and they had no consideration for, like, oh, I don't know, firing, fucking going wild west in the middle of a residential area. Jesus. She says, like I said, I'm waiting for more details to come out. So tired of a world where you're not treated like a human because you make a bad decision in life. All who is without sin cast the first stone. God bless all who reads this. Well, thank you, commenter. I personally don't believe in God, but I appreciate the sentiment nonetheless. It's good to see somebody, at least somebody in the comments section, understands. Um, I believe this commenter is probably a person of color, so it makes a lot of sense that she understands. I wish more white people thought this way. It's not hard, fellow white people. It's really not hard. You just gotta like shut up for 2 seconds and like actually listen to what black people are saying. It's not hard, guys. This has been happening for a long, long time. Like, there's movies made about it. You ever seen Boys in the Hood? I mean, yeah, that sounds like so fucking white to even say that, but seriously, I mean, that kind of stuff helps raise awareness. They just need to I don't know, just listen, guys. Listen to black people more. Maybe you'll understand. Maybe you'll learn something. Uh, so this guy, he's the Chud, basically. This is Chud. I'll just call him Chud. So Chud says, shooting another man while stealing his car is hardly a small mistake, so you can stop your ignorant race baiting bullshit. Alright? Like, first of all, who's race baiting here? Like, nobody's mentioned. Like, it's not race baiting to call attention to the fact that cops are killing young black men in droves in this country. Like, it's just obvious. Once again, it's obvious to anybody who fucking listens. I don't think Chud really listens, or maybe he just is listening to the wrong people. But, like, as a white person, there's just so much fucking ignorance among white people and in the white community about all this stuff. They don't fucking understand. They live in their suburbs and they never have to encounter uh like street crime. They never have to encounter they're sort of separated from all of this. To them, it is like Boys in the Hood. It's a Hollywood movie out somewhere in the bad parts of town that we don't go to. And I'm just saying, that's the sentiment. That's the sentiment I have seen my entire life as a white person, living among white people, having Thanksgiving dinner with white people, all that shit. You just hear stuff. You hear stuff about how, oh, this place used to be a good neighborhood until the black people started moving in. Just ignorant shit. Real ignorant shit. And it's like nobody has even considered maybe listening to black people. it's it's kind of sad. It's sad in how ignorant white people are, but they're so fucking sure of themselves. And it comes off as just like this judgmental type thing. Like, oh, all these dirty black people just don't know how to live right. Why can't they live like us in nice, clean neighborhoods with well-paved streets and trimmed hedges? With no consideration to the sort of uh, socioeconomic struggles that black people face. Just completely blind to their own privilege. So, I mean, calling attention to police abuse of the black community isn't race baiting at all. But there's claims that this kid carjacked a guy, okay, and that the guy was like a cop or something. Again, the official details haven't come out, so this guy knows just as much as I do. This lady claims to, well, at least I believe that she is a member of the community in which this occurred. Maybe a Fraserite, I don't know. But I mean, like I said, uh, this guy knows probably just as much as we all do. He's probably read the same article we have. So, you know, once again, I say it doesn't fucking matter how the cops, it doesn't matter what the kid did. All right, who was that kid who shot up that high school? They fucking took him alive. All right, the Stoneman Douglas high school shooter, Nicholas Cruz, they took him fucking alive. How many fucking people did he cap? Like, he fucking killed people. And again, we don't have any like video footage that confirms what the cops are saying is true. So I don't know if this kid really had a gun and charged at the cops and bashed his car into theirs. Sounds pretty far-fetched. Unless the kid was high or something, but even then, sounds kind of far-fetched. So let's go to the second comment, because Chud has a lot more to say. So I replied to Chud. I said, I never said the guy was perfect. If he did the crime, didn't he deserve a trial and, I don't know, not be shot? Yeah, I mean, I can't really add anything else to that. It's pretty standard danky kang statement. Fucking communist cuck. What kind of cuck says something like that? Trials. Who trials? What kind of pussy liberal just little bean boy wants trials anymore? I think this should be like the Judge Dredd universe. This should be like Mega City 1, and the cops should just be allowed to fucking shoot criminals just right then and there. So Chud says, he should have thought about that before running with the gun, dealing drugs, and shooting other people. He made his own choices, and he made the wrong ones, and ended up paying the consequences for the lifestyle he chose. So I say in response, he got what he deserved, basically, because usually criminals are tried and convicted in court. So yeah, what can I really add to that? I mean, once again, the guy doesn't know that he was running with a gun, and this was all supposed to be hacked out, I don't know, in the trial this kid was supposed to receive, instead of just being fucking shot up 20 damn times. And even if he was shot one time, the end result's the same. The kid's dead. I don't think the cop should have done it. I don't know. Again, we don't have the fucking footage. It's not race baiting to not believe the fucking cops. I have stories upon stories of cops just planting guns, planting drugs, making up false evidence. Fuck, look at the Martavius Banks saga I covered in the exact same video. They did that to him. They fucking turned off all their body cameras, so we don't fucking know what happened there. So Chud goes on to say, I have no sympathy for a young father of 3 who goes out shooting another young father 5 times while trying to steal his car. That young man is still in the hospital, and I don't see anyone mentioning that fact. Well, here I am, dude. I am mentioning the fuck out of that fact. Yeah, the guy was a suspected criminal. Key word here, suspected. Once again, he never received a fucking trial. So your little advocation for this kid's execution in front of his family's house, you're pretty much advocating for like a mob street justice, and that's what everybody says the left wants. But I mean, here we see Chuds coming out defending the fucking pigs when they just kill somebody right in front of their family's house, shoot them 20 damn times. I'm sure they were completely aware where every single one of those bullets were going to go. They had factored in stuff like ricochet and, bullets piercing into the residential areas behind them. And, he says, have fun with your cop hating and race baiting bullshit with someone else. It doesn't work on me. Okay. Well, first of all, I hate cops for a reason. it's not like racists who just have all these dumb fucking stupid conspiracies about black people like taking over the white race and stuff that justifies their racism. Like, my hatred towards the cops comes from the fact that they reinforce the capitalists. They're fucking class traders, and they are the oppressors of the people. Anytime you see some kind of like class conscious struggle come up, you have the cops there to slam their boot down in the face of the working class whenever they try to rise up in this country. You ask the cops who they protect and serve, they'll say they protect and serve you, the people, but in reality, they protect and serve the interest of the big capitalists. And when it comes down to the nitty gritty, they're not going to be your buddies. They're going to be the people putting the billy club in your face. And then the race baiting stuff. Again, it's like the title of the video is Young Black Men Killed and Brutalized by Cops in Memphis. Brandon Weber and Martavius Banks. Nothing about that was race baity. It was purely a statement of fact. Young black men are killed, namely Brandon Weber, and brutalized, namely Martavius Banks, by cops in Memphis. So, again, I don't see any kind of race baiting in here. It's simply reality. It's a statement of fact. So because Chud doesn't understand that, he's trying to say I'm trying to race bait or something. What does he think I'm trying to do? Like, I want all the black people in Memphis to like collectively rise up and like kill all the pigs? Yeah, cuz that's really going to happen. Jesus. Anyway, Chud says, we all make choices in life, and this guy chose the thug lifestyle and ended up paying the ultimate price for it. Again, like, he didn't fucking choose. Nobody chooses to get shot 20 times in their front fucking yard. And this kid chose the thug lifestyle, then maybe he deserved to go on trial for some of his thug stuff that he did. But again, the kid didn't get a trial. He just got he got wild wested, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know how else to say it. You get shot 20 times in your front yard. That's some barbaric, savage shit. But like I pointed out to you, he didn't give a rat's behind his own victim, so I say justice was served. Well, here's the deal, Chud, is that it's not your fucking role to say whether or not justice was served. I think that's best left up to a trial by his juries and peers. I think that's best left up to the court system, which I have my own list of complaints about the court system and its obvious bias against the poor and the black people. But he didn't even get that. He didn't even get a chance to go through our corrupt as fuck judicial system, where he probably would have been sentenced to a very lengthy jail sentence. But according to this guy, again, he wants to live in the Judge Dredd world. He wants to live in Mega City 1 and just have the cops be able to just kill people on sight without even a trial. He says he would have ended up killing someone sooner or later. His kind always does. Alright, so who's race baiting here? Me or Chud? Because Chud's the one saying his kind and he's living the thug lifestyle. They don't learn. They think the world owes them, and that they should get everything for free. Again, this is shit that I have heard white people say since fucking little Danky was just a little baby monkey living in the trees in the jungle. I've been hearing this shit. Little baby Danky heard this stuff all the fucking time growing up. That black people just think the world owes them shit and that they should get everything for free. It's called a reparations, dumb dick. Uh, you can't just have your entire race become enslaved and and then like just get screwed over economically ever since you get quote unquote freed from your slavery, and then you say, "Hey, can we get some help over here?" And then you have chuds like this guy saying, "Oh, you fucking want free handouts? You're a fucking freeloader." And again, like he's the one who's like stretching this out to a racial thing. Like this guy, he accuses me of being race baity, but then he goes to say all this shit like, "Oh, they think they should get everything for free." Like again, he's generalizing like stereotypes that white people say about black people, and he's putting it on this kid. Like there's nothing to say this kid was like that. From what I read about Brandon Weber, he seemed like a pretty like class conscious kid. He was involved in social justice in high school, but I mean that's beside the point. It's there's anybody that's race baiting, I think it's Chud over here. Says he was a drug dealer as well. I wonder how you feel once one of your kids would have ended up being hooked on drugs because of him. well, once again, you know, I don't know about this kid being a drug dealer. Uh, if he would have been able to get a trial, maybe could have seen some evidence of this. But I mean, what do you have besides anecdotes? I'm not sure. But even if this kid was like the fucking hash slinging slasher, it doesn't matter. He got shot like 20 times in his fucking front yard. Uh, Cops aren't being forthcoming with any kind of video evidence. Looking at the optics of this whole thing, Memphis is a city with a racist as fuck history, and this city's racially charged, dude. It's like a battery, and it's racially charged. Uh, and having cops kill black people like fucking executioner style in the middle of their neighborhood where their family lives, like yeah, that's not a good look, dog. And black people, this just keeps fucking happening and nothing ever happens in to help. And so yeah, they get pissed off. Like I would too, Jesus. All right, so let's read the third and final comment because Chud has another Chud. There's a second Chud here. Uh, his icon is of course the NPC, which we all know. The left is just completely occupied by nothing but just NPCs that just repeat what the cucked MSM says. We're all just a bunch of cucks, ladies and gentlemen. Danky, Comrade Danky, I'm a cuck. I'll just say that I'm a cuck, and I am a shill. I get my George Soros check in the mail, like I don't know, like the first weekend of every month. I usually get a nice fat check from Daddy Soros. Uh, and then I also get my check from the NAACP. And then I go to my cop hating meeting where we just talk about how much we hate cops. And I don't know. I don't know. And then I go and I hang out like in my pre-designed, pre-programmed NPC spawn area, and I just stay there and repeat like the same line of dialogue over and over again when somebody comes up to me. So NPC boy says, "Let me say, as someone who has a grown son, that if my son were wanted for murder and he rammed cops' cars, then got out with a gun, and the cops shot him,
I would think that my son is an is an idiot and he deserved it. But I'd want to see the video to back up the claim. If he did, I would condemn him for being a fucking moron because I raised him better. That said, perhaps you should light a candle and pray to Saint Mike Brown, the patron saint of Dinder crime sprees.
So that was a real big brain comment from the big brain boy. Uh, repeating the often heard racial slur "dindu." Uh, it's a way to sort of make fun of black people grieving when their, kids are shot by the cops, and they'll say, "He didn't do nothing. He didn't do nothing." You know, uh, yeah. I mean, people speak differently. Get over it, you fucking snowflake. It's living in the South. There's lots of white people down here that talk like fucking hillbillies, but the it's you don't see people calling them like y'all guys, or I don't know. It's just stupid. It's just like Dindu is the new N word, ladies and gentlemen, and it's a stupid fucking. He didn't even spell it right. It's usually DID uh or DINDO. Yeah, Dindu. Uh Saint Mike Brown. I don't know what that's a reference to, but you know, yeah, I'm sure that if this guy's son was just lit the fuck up in front of his house and just died in his front yard, I'm sure he would just be like, "Yep, you were an idiot, son, and you definitely deserve this." I'm sure. I'm fucking sure you would just say that to him as he was like bleeding out on the ground. This guy at least he admits he wants to see the video, but this guy would probably see it just so he could repost it on whatever weird fucking 4chan Chud MAGA Pepe boy subreddit he goes to, or uh just some weird forum somewhere where he's like, ha ha ha, look at this. Another one got killed, guys. Good job. So Dindu crime spree. I mean that's a big brain NPC comment from the big brain NPC boy right there. Uh let's see. So this is Chud. Chud says, "I turned a very close family member into the police." Oh, okay. Well, good job for narking out your own family member, dude. Uh, and if my son would have done what this guy did, then he would have had to face the consequences as well. You point the gun at law enforcement officers, that's what you get. Once again, dude, show me the money, show me the footage, and then we can have a conversation about whether or not the Leos were in the right here. But it just looks like 20 fucking gunshots is a little much, dude. Um, but then my kids were all grown up and never did what these kids do these days. They How old is this guy? Am I getting in a fucking debate with some kind of boomer? Lord of mercy. They said they have respect for others and themselves, something this guy didn't have. Hey, you don't have respect for others and yourself, so I'm gonna just fucking shoot you 20 times in front of your family. And you're right. He says, and you're right, this isn't the Wild West, but these thugs are turning it into the wild. Again, he's kind of going down that racist hole. Um, I kind of am hesitant to read the rest of the comment because I'm afraid he's just gonna go down that racist rabbit hole. We're gonna start seeing the chud really kind of come through here. It says drive-by shootings. killing babies as young as a couple of days old. And they think they shouldn't have to face the law. What? Again, like, this guy is taking, like, crimes traditionally attributed to the black community, although I haven't heard anything about them killing babies as young as a few days old. But, like, the drive-by shootings is, like, a common occurrence in street crime. So, I mean, he's taking, like, street crime associated with black people and, like, putting it on this kid that just got shot. Like, again, he never got a trial, so we don't fucking know. Dumb dick, but I'm pretty sure he didn't kill any young babies as couples a day old. I guess this guy really does want it to be like Mega City 1. I'm sorry, friend. That's a comic book. That's not real life. At least I hope it's not real life. It says, sorry, he had a weapon, and Leos have families to go home to as well. Well, you know, this... I'm not even... I would just be repeating myself again. Show me the fucking footage, dude. We can go all night, but the fact is that you are a pathetic little race baiter who is trying to start something by posting only half the story. Alright, don't fucking hate the player, hate the game, friend, because I went over the whole fucking article. You can go back and watch the video with me if you want. We can watch it together because I covered the entire article. And that's all we know up until this point, buddy. So, unless you have some kind of secret fucking access to some hidden knowledge that nobody else has, like, fucking shut up. Telling me I'm race baiting. You're the one here talking about fucking, oh, they have no respect and they, fucking, what was it you said? His kind, he says his kind always does. They don't learn. They think the world owes them. They should get everything for free. You're talking about drive-bys and shit. I mean, just Jesus Christ. This is like the Chud mind. We are doing like a deep dissection into the mind of a Chud, ladies and gentlemen. This is how they think, and it's it's disturbing. Let's see. Blah blah blah. Blah blah blah. Yeah, so I'm a pathetic race baiter, even though he's the one who's clearly like race baiting here, and going. He's the one going there, ladies and gentlemen. You know, he's the one who tossed that gauntlet down, not I. He says thugs come in all shapes, size, and color, but only oh, here we go. But only black thugs seem to think they shouldn't have to pay the price for the path they chose. Like, the price is getting shot up like fucking 20 times in your front yard. Like, again, like, I don't think you fucking chose that. It's not like there's this a little sign that you check off and you're like, yes, I agree to be shot 20 times in my front yard. People these days have zero respect. They seem to think they can do whatever they please. Well, this young thug won't be able to hurt anyone else. Yep. You know, I just think that I can do whatever I please. I have zero respect. My respect level is zero. Maybe my respect level for this guy is zero. My respect level for this guy, no, it's not zero. It's like negative a billion. But, you know, it's like I can point out just how stupid he is, but I feel like it would have no effect. Anybody with a brain could read this comment, see how stupid this is, but you know, once again, we're doing a deep dive into the Chud mind. He says, by the way, my kids were disciplined. Were disciplined and had the guidance of both their parents, which sadly doesn't happen very often anymore these days. And why do you think that is? Because there's a fucking drug war happening where, you know, young black men are arrested for, you know, possession, and they get fucking put in this prison system. where it makes it hard to get employment after you get out, so you turn to street crime and then you get back in the prison system. It's a self-perpetuating cycle. It's a positive feedback loop. I don't think these chuds really understand. They just think like black people are just naturally like, I don't know, like criminals or something. It's the fucking system. The hood could be occupied by people as white as Mr. fucking Rogers, but under the current system, if it was applied to folks like Mr. Rogers, they would be turned into gangsters as well. It's not the race, people, it's the economic conditions. I don't know why fucking white people don't understand that. Because most parents don't even know where their kids are until they get the phone call telling them their kid has gotten into some kind of trouble, and that's beyond sad. Well, maybe this guy should adopt some black kids or something. I'm sure he would just be a great dad. Sounds like a great dad. This guy has this guy had 3 kids, and most likely all with different women, because he had 1-year-old, a 2-week-old, and another one the way too soon. So what does that say about the way he was raised? Again, it doesn't fucking matter if he was like fucking King Solomon and he had like 200 wives and he had fucking 50 kids with 50 different women. Like, I don't give a shit what this guy did. He was a player. He knocked up a ton of ladies. Maybe all 3 of these ladies wanted to have his babies. Hell, maybe he had some kind of deal worked out. He was in a polyamorous relationship. I don't give a flying fuck. That's no justification for how he was shot. I don't understand. This guy's like standing up here, fucking virtue signaling, and I don't give a flying fuck about those virtues. Like, I don't care if he wasn't monogamous. I don't care if he had fucking 3 kids. He says nobody cares anymore. Let's make babies with 5 or more different partners and let the welfare system. All right, so I mean, again, he's going there, folks. He's going to that racist level. The black people just churn out babies and let the welfare system pick up the tab. Like, again, like nobody fucking chooses to live in the ghetto. Like, if you were given a choice between living in the ghetto on welfare or living in a nice, well-trimmed, suburban middle-class neighborhood, you know, I don't know. I was gonna say there's no reason why you wouldn't want to move there, but then I remember movies like Get Out and think, I don't know. Bunch of creepy racist white people living all next to you, judging you. It's hard. Chud goes on to say, and how do you know he was shot 20 times? The autopsy report hasn't been released. Well, dude, I could say the exact same thing to you. How do you know he wasn't shot 20 times? We've got witnesses there saying he was, witnesses that were his cousins. So, I don't know if this guy is like fucking Inspector Gadget, if he was on the scene, if he was like Blue's Clues trying to fucking solve the mystery. But, yeah, I'm just going by what the fucking witnesses say because, we're not. Once again, the cops aren't being forthcoming with the info. So, all that is to say, there's some weird assholes around here, and lots of real ignorant white people who just don't fucking understand. So, thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Pornhub. Thank you.